Leptin, discovered in 1994, so not really that old. Leptin is a hormone that's made in fat cells and also in the small intestine. It is a major, and also a little bit in the brain actually, but it is a major appetite regulator. So the way that it is meant to work is if we gain weight, then the message goes to the brain that like, hey, we've got enough fat, and the brain says, okay, then you know what, I will reduce the host's appetite and I will speed up energy expenditure. So we'll burn more calories and become less hungry. Okay, and the other way around would be if we lost a lot of body fat, especially rapidly, those crash diets, and body fat levels get a lot lower, and the message goes to the brain like, hey, the host hasn't got much fat, and the brain says, got ya, okay, I'll make the host more hungry and I will slow down appetite expenditure. You'll see that some people, after they've been on a diet, they eat a lot more food than they did before, and leptin is very much responsible for that. But what is also coming up now is, so if somebody's very heavy, then it should be that leptin is going to the brain, and the brain is saying, gotcha, I'm going to make this person less hungry, and I'm going to speed up expenditure, which would help the person. But there's now a thing called, there is a thing called leptin resistance, just like insulin resistance. And leptin resistance is where leptin is, yes, this person's got a lot of body fat, that is the message, but somehow that message isn't getting to the brain. And the brain actually thinks this host is starving, and this person then has a huge appetite and a slow energy expenditure. Does that make sense? So the message is, hey, we've got a lot of body fat. That message does not get to the brain, and the brain thinks the host is starving. So what you then get is you get heavy people with a huge appetite, eating a lot and gaining more weight. And this is leptin resistance. Now, the thing about leptin resistance, it goes hand in hand with insulin resistance. Guys, in my coaching, programs will probably start late summer, early fall, but I go on and on about blood sugar, insulin resistance, and not just regarding body composition, but what insulin resistance does to our overall health, from high blood pressure to cholesterol and all this stuff. But leptin resistance goes hand in hand with insulin resistance. So when you get this person that's large, they're gaining weight and they can't stop eating, leptin can be responsible. So what can we do about leptin resistance? Well, we've got to get rid of insulin resistance, which actually doesn't usually take that long to do. Again, insulin resistance is before you get to the point of diabetes. But leptin resistance can make dieting so tough for people. Is there a test for it? Yes, you can go and do your blood work and get a leptin test. And it's not going to tell you that you're leptin resistant, but if your leptin is high and you've got a ferocious appetite, that would kind of tell you that you're leptin resistant. So what can we actually do about leptin resistance? Well, we've got to control insulin. So we've got to get active. We've got to go low carb because leptin and insulin really are the best of friends. Having high levels of insulin will also keep stimulating high levels of leptin, and that message is not getting to the brain. So what else can we do? Exercise. We've got to be a much lower carb. We have to reduce inflammation. So guys, that's a processed food. Please stop it. If you're just looking at the macros and you think, oh, this keto bomb, freaking whatever, looks processed, packaged, but the macros work, it's still crap. Okay, so we've got to get rid of inflammation because processed food is really damaging the gut. We've got to improve gut health. We've got to reduce inflammation. We've got to bring the level of insulin down, which we do with lower carbohydrates, maybe correct supplementation and exercise, cut the sugar. If we do all these things, and lower stress. If we do all these things, maybe we can for sure correct insulin resistance and the leptin resistance, which could be the thing that's making you so hungry.